Have you ever paused to wonder where your beloved animals go after they take their final breath? The sorrow of losing a cherished pet can be so profound that we often yearn for reassurance. Are they truly gone forever, or is there a hopeful promise waiting beyond this life? Welcome to the Faithful Scribe. In this video, we'll explore a question many have asked, but few dare to answer. What does the Bible really say about animals in the afterlife? We won't stray into speculation. Instead, we'll examine how Scripture and personal testimony unite to offer insight on our pet's eternal destiny. Join me as we venture into a story that begins with a simple, life-changing friendship between one woman and her beloved dog. But before we continue, consider this lesser-known biblical fact. Ecclesiastes 3:21 poses a rarely discussed question about whether the spirit of animals ascends upward, suggesting that their destiny may extend beyond the limits of earthly existence. Meet Louise, a soft-spoken yet determined woman who always sensed an extraordinary bond with her dog, Noah. From the moment she adopted him as a tiny puppy, Louise knew their connection was more than a typical pet and owner relationship. Whenever she felt lonely, Noah would quietly rest his head on her lap, gazing at her with undeniable empathy. During her darkest moments, Louise found comfort in his unwavering presence. She often confided in him as though he were a trusted confidant, certain that he somehow understood more than she could articulate. In those early days, Louise struggled with feelings of isolation. She had recently moved to a new town, uncertain of whom to turn to for help or conversation. Yet, Noah seemed to bridge that gap. In him, she saw a reflection of unconditional love, a warmth that made everyday challenges more bearable. Where human companions might have offered polite conversation, Noah provided silent understanding. It was as if he could sense her fears and hopes without a single word spoken between them. This uncanny ability left Louise in awe. Over time, she began to wonder if God had sent Noah into her life for a specific purpose. Could an animal, so seemingly simple in nature, carry a profound spiritual role? This question led Louise to study various scriptures about creation, longing to find concrete evidence that animals carry significance beyond their earthly duties. What she found fueled her faith in ways she never anticipated. Her journey was just starting. In her search for answers, Louise discovered a range of biblical perspectives on animals. Scripture often portrays animals as integral parts of God's creation, from the beasts of the field in Genesis to the birds praised in the Psalms. Some theologians point to Isaiah 11:6, describing a future of harmony in which wolves and lambs dwell peacefully together. While interpretations vary, many see this as evidence that animals hold a distinct place in God's eternal plan. Yet Louise wanted something more personal, something she could firmly cling to. She recalled how God spared the animals in the story of Noah's Ark, preserving their lives alongside humankind. This choice hinted at a deeper value placed upon living creatures. Did it imply a redemptive promise for animals as well? Louise also came across Ecclesiastes 3:21, which asks, who truly knows whether the spirit of man ascends upward and whether the spirit of the beast goes downward? The question, though left somewhat open, suggests that the destiny of animals may not be as simple as people assume. Could it be that animals carry a breath of life connected to their creator, hinting at a continuity beyond the grave? With each revelation, Louise's bond with Noah felt increasingly sacred. She began to view him not merely as a pet, but as a companion woven into the spiritual fabric of her life. Every tail wag, every gentle nuzzle, spoke volumes about love that transcends human language. God, she realized, might cherish that bond even beyond mortality. chapter. As Louise's curiosity grew, she began to wonder if other people had shared similar experiences. Searching online forums and speaking with friends, she encountered numerous stories of animals appearing to comfort their owners in times of emotional distress. Some even described dreams or visions of departed pets, seemingly at peace in an otherworldly realm. While skeptics dismissed these accounts as wishful thinking, Louise found them eerily consistent with her own convictions. Beyond anecdotal evidence, she also stumbled upon theological discussions in which prominent figures throughout Christian history debated the fate of animals. C.S. Lewis once speculated that the higher creatures might experience a unique redemption through their relationship with humans, suggesting an interconnected destiny we rarely consider. Though not a doctrine universally accepted, such musings sparked renewed hope in Louise. If you're new to The Faithful Scribe or have been watching our videos for a while, take a moment to subscribe. By doing so, you'll stay connected to uplifting stories that blend heartfelt testimonies with scriptural depth. We're building a community that seeks God's truth, even on topics as intimate and challenging as what happens to our furry friends after they pass. Meanwhile, Louise felt a stirring in her heart to pray more intentionally for insight. She asked God to reveal whether Noah's life had lasting significance beyond wagging tails and warm cuddles. Deep down, she suspected that his role in her life signaled a divine design, and she sought reassurance that his precious spirit hadn't simply vanished. Her questions intensified. One evening, after a particularly challenging day, Louise felt an overwhelming sadness wash over her. She sat on the floor beside Noah, whispering her worries. Suddenly, Noah nudged her hand and let out a soft whine, as though urging her to follow him. Puzzled, she got up and trailed after him to the backyard. There, under the shimmering moonlight, he locked eyes with her in a moment so poignant, it felt almost sacred. Though he couldn't speak, his gaze communicated an uncanny understanding of her inner turmoil. Louise remembered a verse from Job 12:7-10, where it suggests that animals, birds, and fish can teach us truths about God's sovereign hand in creation. Could Noah's gentle summons be a silent lesson on trust and surrender? It felt like he was guiding her to lay her burdens before the Creator of all living things. In that instant, Louise sensed a profound shift in her spirit, as though Noah had reminded her of a spiritual reality she'd overlooked. As time passed, Louise began to suspect that Noah perceived more than just her surface emotions. He seemed attuned to her joys and sorrows in ways that transcended routine observation. On nights when her heart was heavy, he refused to leave her side, curling up near her feet. It was as if he existed not only to give comfort, but to reflect divine love back to her. Such encounters led her to believe that the bond between them was orchestrated by a higher hand. Eventually, the day came when Noah's body began showing signs of decline. His once playful energy waned, and Louise sensed he was preparing for a transition no earthly remedy could halt. Though her heart ached at the thought of losing him, she clung to the hope that God's compassion extended to all living creatures. The final night they spent together was filled with quiet reflection. Louise stroked Noah's fur gently, praying for strength and clarity, uncertain of what lay ahead. When Noah passed, Louise felt a profound emptiness. However, just a few days later, she experienced a vivid dream, unlike anything she'd known before. In this dream, Noah appeared healthy and full of life, bounding through a radiant meadow bathed in ethereal light. His eyes sparkled, free from pain or worry. More astonishingly, Louise sensed his overwhelming joy and the presence of a divine peace emanating from him. Although she couldn't speak to him, the connection between them felt stronger than ever, as though bridging a distance once believed untraversable. Upon waking, Louise was overcome with gratitude rather than sorrow. She interpreted this dream as confirmation that the love she and Noah shared continued on a spiritual plane, free from earthly confines. Could it be that animals, endowed with unwavering loyalty and innocence, receive a measure of God's everlasting care? Louise came to believe that Noah's existence had not ceased, but transformed, reflecting a hope rooted in the character of a God who values every precious creation. And she found peace. Through Louise's journey, we witness a profound truth. The love between humans and animals reflects the heart of our Creator, spanning beyond earthly limits. While the Bible offers varied interpretations about an animal's afterlife, it also points to a God whose care extends to every living thing. Whether through remarkable dreams or quiet moments of connection, we see that these beloved creatures might share in a greater hope than we ever imagined. May Louise's story inspire you to cherish your companions and trust that love in God's plan is truly never lost.